Hello, in this video I want to talk about another type of IELTS reading questions that is called multiple choice questions. First, let's start from some of the different types of this one, or the things that we should consider about these types of questions. First of all, there are some things that we have to remember when we want to do these types of questions. First of all, the questions are in order. Read the title first, not the text. Highlight the keywords in questions and options. Options are often 3 or 4. The distractors might be in all options. Read the paragraphs carefully at a normal speed. Find the keywords in the text. Compare the words with the ones in the options and the questions. Choose the best option. 2 options are usually very close, but you should look for more details. At the end, choose one if you are not sure, because you have a 50% chance to guess correctly. If you don't have time, at the end choose at least one option, because you have at least 25% to answer the right questions. So there are a lot of important things that we should consider about multiple choice questions, and we know that they are difficult because of the reasons that we mentioned here. Now we start asking some questions about multiple choice questions. Here we have 3 different types of question, and the thing is that on our answer sheet we should write the correct letters, not the number, whether it is A, B, C or D. Now we start from the first question, that actually here is question number 21. The first thing that we should do is to read the question and then also read the options and then decide what the keywords are. Okay, here's the question. What point does the writer make about the steam car in paragraph B? This is a question that is very easy to find, because here we have paragraph B and we should just be looking for the paragraph B at the beginning. Now we read the options. A, its success was short-lived. Not enough cars were made. Car companies found them hard to sell. So hard is a keyword. People found them hard to drive. Now let's start from the paragraph. We start from the beginning. But the glory days of steam cars were few. A new technology called the internal combustion engine soon appeared, which offered the ability to drive down the road just moments after starting up. At first, these noisy gasoline cars were unpopular because they were more complicated to operate and they had difficult hand crank starters, which were known to break arms when the engines backfired. But in 1912, General Motors introduced the electric starter, and over the following few years, steam power was generally phased out. Now let's decide what the keywords are. Here we say the glory days of steam cars were few. So it means the days that this type of steam car was popular, the days were few. And a new technology called internal combustion engine soon appeared. So a new technology came, and actually the popularity of the steam car was lost. So here, the glory days of steam cars can be a paraphrase for its success was short-lived. And then then we continue reading because we want to make sure whether other options are wrong or they are right. Here we say which offer the ability to drive down the road just moments after starting up. These noisy gasolines were unpopular. So here we say they were unpopular because were more complicated to operate and they had difficult hand crank starters. We might think, okay, it is about people found them hard to drive. It is right, but this description is not about a steam car, and it is about the combustion engine car. So we can say this is the right one. And letter C, car companies found them hard to sell. Here we can't see anything about whether it was hard for the car companies to sell them or not. And then also not enough cars were made. We can't find any information about the cars, the number of them, whether they were enough or they weren't enough. So the only option is left is letter A. And also at the beginning, at the end of the paragraph, we can see that. And over the following few years, steam power was gradually phased out. So phased out, as well as the glory days of steam cars were few. They are two good keywords and paraphrase words for option A. Now we start with the next question. It says, in order to produce the Model C, the Double brothers, so here we say produce, Model C, and Double brothers. Let's read the options. Here the first one is moved production to a different city, raised financial capital, employed in additional workers, and abandoned their earlier designs. Again, to answer this question, we start from the beginning of the paragraph. It says the following years, after Double drove the Model B from Massachusetts to Detroit in order to seek investment in his automobile design, which he used to open the General Engineering Company. He and his brothers immediately began working on Model C. So from here until this part, it is just about the description of the Model C. So let's look at the keywords. Here we can see that it says these brothers drove the Model B from this place to that place. Actually, it is about the Model B, not Model C, and it is not about move production. It is about moving a car. So letter A cannot be the right answer. And then we say, in order to seek investment in his automobile design. So seek investment is the same as raised financial capitals. It means to collect money for something. So it can be one useful keyword for us, which he used to open the General Engineering Company. He and his brothers immediately began working on Model C, which was intended to expand upon the innovations of Model B. So here for the letter D, we can see abandon their earlier design. So it was not abandoning the earlier design, and it was expanding it upon the new innovations. And so what are left are just letter B and C. Letter C is employed in additional worker. We can't see anything about employing any worker in this paragraph, so it is just letter B left. It is raised financial capital. As we can see here, seek investment in his automobile design. So letter B is the right answer. Excuse me, I just skipped number 22 and I start from number 22. Here we can see the question. It says, when building their first steam car, the double brothers, so first we should find the keywords. Building their first steam car, the double brothers, what they did. A, constructed all the parts themselves. The keywords are constructed and themselves. Made written notes at each stage of the construction. Made written notes at each stage of construction. And needed several attempts to achieve a competitive model. Several attempts achieve competitive model. Thought the advice of experienced people in the car industry. Thought advice of experienced people in the car industry. Now we start with the paragraph. Like always, first we read the paragraph. Even as the market was declining, for brothers made one last effort to rekindle the technology between 1906 and 1909 while still attending high school. A Bender double and his three brothers built their first steam car in their parents' basement. It comprised parts taken from a wrecked early steam car but reconfigured to drive an engine of their own design. Though it did not run well, the double brothers went on to build a second and third prototype in the following years. Though the double boys' third prototype, nicknamed the Model B. So here we can see different, again, description about Model B. And also we have here, it drew the attention of automobile trade magazines due to its numerous improvements over previous steam cars. Now let's decide what the keywords are. Here we can start from the beginning. Here it is. They built their first steam car, so it is here the keyword steam car and steam car, it is here. It comprised parts taken from a wrecked early steam car but configured to drive. So it was from a wrecked early steam car, but for this option we have constructed all the parts themselves. Option A, it cannot be the right answer because it says they constructed all the parts themselves, while we can see according to the text that it is from a wrecked early steam. And then option B, made written notes at each stage of the construction. There wasn't anything actually, if we just read the whole paragraph, about making written notes. And letter D, it says, thought the advice of experienced people in the car industry. We have something here as the automobile trade magazine, and also again automobile magazine, and it is about magazines about automobiles, but we can't find anything about seeking advice from experienced people in the car industry. There is a name of magazine but not any people. So just letter C is left. Needed several attempts to achieve a competitive model. Where are the words that we can use for this option? Here we can see though it did not run well, the double brothers went on to build a second and third prototype in the following years. Though the double boys' third prototype, so when it says that they built a first second and third prototype, it means they have made several attempts to achieve a competitive model because they were looking for the best model, so they were doing these things. So here was the end of our questions.